The third reason I see denials happen, it's really one of the biggest ones, is not understanding inadmissibility. So in immigration law, there's a statute called the Immigration Nationality Act Section 212, which is called the inadmissibility statute, which is essentially saying who we don't want in the United States. And if you violate one of these, you will not be able to get a visa even, but especially not a green card for America. And so because this section is very technical, it's legalese, it's the primary thing that an immigration attorney does is to review your case and be prepared for these inadmissibility issues, because those are the ones that it's not easy for someone to understand that's not a lawyer. Now typically when people file a marriage case, they can think about documents they have in common for their relationship. They can fill out the forms about their address history for the last 5 years, their work history for the last 5 years. But when it comes to inadmissibility, it's very nuanced. It takes a lot of time for even an immigration attorney to understand. Sometimes we have a J1 2-year home residency requirement. This is when you had a J visa, a cultural exchange visa in the past. And sometimes they create a situation where you have to go back to your home country for 2 years before you can come back and get a green card. People don't know that. They file for the green card and then the officer says, well, you had a J1, you didn't go back for 2 years, you're denied. There's student visa abusers. There are people that came on a student visa to go to high school in the United States at a private high school. They leave the private high school, go to a public high school for 2 years or more, something like that. They become student visa abusers. They have to go back home as well. There are people that are subject to a 3 and 10 year bar. I'm not going to go too much detail into that, but many times when people don't hire immigration attorneys and they go to notarios, these are people that just fill out the paperwork, they don't realize that they're subject to a 3 or 10 year bar, or will be when they go to the interview at the U.S. Embassy. And all of a sudden they're stuck outside for 10 years and it's a nightmare, we're not expecting it, but there are ways to deal with that in a better way. Sometimes you could just file for it without going to the embassy. Sometimes you get a waiver beforehand, the I-601A waiver. This is getting kind of technical, but these are the things that I see pop up, that people are not understanding the immigration laws, the inadmissibility statute that goes with it, and they get caught, especially when they don't have good guidance and they hire a notario or a form filler, because it's more than just a form. There's law involved here, and there's a reason that I do what I do, and there's a reason why they make books and books about this stuff. But that's one of the main things. It should be number one probably that I'm worried about, and that's what my consultations are for. When people come to me and they say, a lot of times people call me and say, what's the price, how long it is? I'm like, that's secondary. I need to do an admissibility review to make sure you could even do this. And for me to be able to check admissibility, I have to ask a lot of questions. I have to review a lot of your documents and check a lot of things. Sometimes do Freedom of Information Act requests, get your background. Sometimes I need police and criminal records. I might need, your embassy forms, your visa forms, your passport, and the visa stamps, entry stamps. I need to review all this stuff to make sure it's even possible in the first place, because sometimes one thing will be wrong and it's still possible, but then I got to spend a bunch of time and a bunch of work doing that. So when you ask about how long and how much, I can't tell you until I know exactly what I'm going to do. And so that's what that inadmissibility review is needed at our consultation session. I hope you enjoyed this educational video. We have a second channel with much more information as well at JQK Immigration Clips. Please check that out. Also, you'll find our social media site has a lot more videos, images, and information about the U.S. immigration process. Please check those out on the various social media websites.